It's the Superhuman Television Show, your guide to living beyond 100 years in good health. Now, here's your host, Carl Lanore and Tony Vanetti.
Hey, welcome back to Superhuman Television. I'm Carl Lanore, and Tony, wake up, man.
I got it. I'm up.
Tony, and this is Tony Vanetti. What are you sleeping for?
I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I am so excited about doing this sleep show. It is, I think, one of the most important things that you can do.
It really is.
In your life. And I got to tell you, last night, the family talked me into ordering a pizza at 7:30, 8:30 at night. You got to understand, 7:30, 8:30 at night is close to the end of the night. Right. By the way, welcome to Superhuman Television. Thanks for coming. Thanks for episode 2. We're still on the air.
Right.
All right? So they have not cut the cord on us yet. All right? So the experts and the ones that want us off the air, because I guarantee you there's going to be some people saying those guys need to be off the air. They are spreading the truth, and we can't have it. We cannot have people spreading the truth. All right? But they talked me into ordering a pizza. I felt that it was too much. First of all, it had onions on it. And it gave me, you know what?
A little agita.
So I had the too much of the onions, and I ate 3 pieces. All right, I hate to be that guy, but I ate 3 pieces, and then I didn't sleep well.
No, and people don't. And you know what Tony's talking about if you've had pizza right before bed, or ice cream, or any type of starchy carbohydrate. And we're going to get into that and how that affects sleep. But what we really want to talk about first is what happens when you go to sleep. Because you have to understand that before the Industrial Revolution and before the invention of the electric light, we slept very much differently than we do today.
Right.
So first of all, there are 3 main centers of the brain that are responsible for producing sleep. And the retina of the eye is responsible for getting light into the brain. And also when light starts to go down and gets dark, lets the brain know that it's getting dark.
Right.
So what happens is when light gets into the brain, it stimulates 2 areas right away. The suprachiasmatic nuclei, which is responsible, or the biological clock.
Got it.
You've heard of the biological clock.
Absolutely.
That's it. And then we have the pineal gland, which produces the sleep hormone, melatonin. As light goes down, the brain goes, it's getting dark, it's time for us to slow down.
Right.
And then the hypothalamus is like the thermostat of the body. It's looking at the hormones that are present in the body.
Okay.
And it's shifting the daytime hormones, the adrenal hormones, off.
Right, okay.
And it's shifting the sleep hormones on.
I had no idea all this was going on during the first stages of me, just when it gets dark.
And when you think about it, think about your children, right? When children are really young, 3, 4, 5 years old, they get sleepy and they go to bed.
They're done.
When it starts getting dark out.
Yeah, yeah.
But then we become older and we're like, well, I'm going to sit up and watch television. And I'm going to look on my iPad before I go to sleep. And that light, that artificial light, tells the brain the day is not over.
Okay, I'm going to tell you a story right now real quick. I had a doctor friend that he said he did this, and I don't know if he did it or not, but he would wear welding glasses.
Yellow lenses.
He would leave the office and would put welding glasses on before he left the hospital, would drive home, and then get in his house, and then have all the shades shut, and then take the welding glasses
We're
off.
going to talk about these types of things towards the end of the show when we give people advice on how they can get their sleep back in shape. But the most important thing to understand about sleep is it follows daylight and nighttime. Okay, number one. The other thing that happens
that makes sense because you didn't invent the light bulb until, okay?
Exactly.
All right.
Okay, now the other thing that it does, and this is why it's important for the discussion that we just had at the beginning of the show with your pizza episode.
Yes.
Feeding. Feeding tells the body that it's daytime and nighttime.
Okay.
You have to remember that when we were in prehistoric times, we ate in the daytime because we weren't going to venture out at night when we could end up becoming saber-toothed tiger food ourselves.
Right.
So the body knows that it's still daytime out, aside from the light coming in, by the fact that we are eating. So eating late at night tells the body that it's not time to go to sleep yet.
Oh, my Lord.
And then the other thing is activity. You must be active in the daytime. We're going to talk about this towards the end of the show. But your level of activity builds up hormones in the brain that it's like a seesaw. Daytime, nighttime, awake, sleepy. And when those hormones build up enough, you click over to it's time to sleep.
Right.
And you can see this even when you exercise too much, you feel exhausted, you want to take a nap because those hormones build up to a high degree.
I cannot wait to jump into this subject. I'm so glad our show 2 has been, we've decided to do sleep because it's so important. When I first started my journey 7 years ago for health and fitness and well-being and my family, that was like a priority. You have to get to bed because you've got to rebuild while you're sleeping and what time to go to bed. Of course, in my house with kids, I've got problems myself with the kids sleeping in everybody's beds, and
yes.
I'm going from a big king-size bed to a princess-size bed because my daughter needs me there. I mean, I've got my own problems.
Right,
All right,
and this is typical of the child-rearing years. What we're going to talk about first when we come back, folks, we're going to talk about all the diseases that are associated with poor sleep patterns, because this is important. Because if you suffer from one of these diseases, getting your sleep lined up properly could actually reverse the disease.
Right. No, I totally
So the first thing
agree.
we're going to talk about is the diseases associated with poor sleep. And then towards the end of the show, we're going to be moving fast. We're going to teach people how to get better sleep. And this is really the critical thing, because what you said a second ago is it's just not enough to go to sleep early. It's terrible if you go to sleep early and you wake up 5 or 6 times throughout the night. Or you wake up in the morning and you still feel exhausted and you think to yourself, but I went to sleep early, why didn't I sleep well? Right,
and I want to ask Carl, while I get up to go to the bathroom because I'm 44 years old in the middle of the night, am I awake or am I asleep? I feel like I'm awake at that time, but it'll be a fun subject. Sleep is the topic today. We're going to try and get you better by sleeping better. Superhuman Television, right back after this with Carl Lanore and Tony Vanetti.
Your body knows what it wants. It wants to feel stronger, work harder, act faster, and think sharper. Give your body more nutrients, more antioxidants, more protection, more of what it wants. Try Live On Lab's liposomal vitamin C today, risk-free, and give your body the nutrients to support your overall health, without jitters, without side effects. Order online at liveonlabs.com.
Welcome back, everybody. I am Tony Vanetti, Carl Lanore. If you recognize the voice, you're probably thinking, oh, I think I drive my car around and I recognize our voice. That's right. I do a sports show on 790 AM every single day here in the Louisville area. So I hope you can take a listen later this afternoon. That would be nice. And again, I didn't get a lot of sleep last night because of my pizza. But you know what? It's not just being tired during the day. It can lead to disease or disease prevention.
Yes.
Carl, what are we talking about?
Well, first of all, we have to talk about something. There's estimated that there's some 8 million shift workers out there. And we know them. We have UPS here in town. There's a lot of people who work that third shift at night. But the CDC says that there's over 70 million Americans who don't sleep well. They either have multiple awakenings or they have poor sleep patterns.
That seems like a low number to me. I think there's probably more than that.
Well, that's the reported numbers.
Right.
Now, the diseases, and we can show you a whole schwack of research to support this. We only have a half hour to do the show.
Okay.
The diseases that have been directly linked to poor sleep. You ready?
Okay.
Obesity.
All right.
Because it causes dysfunction in insulin regulation.
Got it.
Diabetes, for the same reason. If you're diabetic and you're not sleeping, you can actually help reverse your diabetes by getting your sleep in line. Just that simple.
Yep.
Cardiovascular disease. Because of diabetes, people who have diabetes usually develop cardiovascular problems. Okay? Cancer, especially prostate, breast, and colon cancer, directly linked to shift workers have a 5-fold greater risk of these cancers than the general population.
No way, just from lack of sleep?
Yes. Melatonin is powerful stuff. We're going to talk about that later, okay? High blood pressure, high cholesterol, depression, anxiety, and and dementia. Not Alzheimer's disease, but dementia.
Oh, your mental health has got to go along with that. The stress of not sleeping and being so tired all the time has got to weigh on you. Now, I'm like everyone else sitting out there right now. I'm shocked that the lack of sleep has been linked to this.
And no one talks about it. Doctors don't talk. When you go into the doctor and you have high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, do they ever ask you, how do you sleep? Mm-hmm. And there's a good reason. There's a good reason that they don't. I'm glad that they don't. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But bottom line is that all of these diseases are linked to obesity. Here's some emerging diseases that are linked to obesity.
Okay.
GERD. If you have acid reflux and you're taking a pill, the little purple one, to control your acid reflux, getting your sleep, chances are you don't sleep well. and getting your sleep straightened out could actually get you off of those proton pump inhibitors. And as I said a moment ago, dementia, memory loss, even in young people who don't sleep well, they forget things. I forget where I put my keys, I forget this, and quite often it's related to sleep because memory consolidation occurs when you sleep.
Well, I mean, the process, the science has to be that your body this is your downtime and you're recharging your batteries, not just for energy, but you're fixing all the damage you did during the day, correct?
But more, yes, and that, you know what's proof of that? If you stay up all night long or sleep,
okay,
you only burn 110 calories more if you stay up all night
There's
long.
no way that's
So that
accurate.
means that your
There's
body
no way
is
that's
working.
accurate.
Your body is working at night when you're sleeping.
That's unbelievable. Now,
Right.
if you're thinking, you're sitting there, I'm one of those people, I need to sleep better. I'm telling you, I think 70 million people is low.
And it's
I think
frustrating, too.
I think everybody in the room is probably not sleeping the way they need to. How can we fix it? That's what we're going to talk about next, correct?
Yes.
Right here on Superhuman Television, we'll tell you what the problem is, and then we're going to try to give you some advice on what we think you can fix your sleep patterns.
Using natural approaches and alternatives. This is critical. This is why I said before, you don't want your doctor asking you this question because you don't want those prescription sleep drugs. You may lay still for 8 hours a day, but you're not sleeping.
If your brain is working too much, okay, we're going to give you options of that. And there's going to be some tough love. You're going to find out on this show also that we're going to give you advice, but we're also going to be critical also of people, the way they live their lifestyles. And look, sometimes you got to hear some tough love, and you'll hear it from Carl and Tony on Superhuman Television next.
Superhuman Television will return after these messages.
Your body knows what it wants. It wants to feel stronger, work harder, act faster, and think sharper. Give your body more nutrients, more antioxidants, more protection, more of what it wants. Try Live On Lab's liposomal vitamin C today, risk-free, and give your body the nutrients to support your overall health, without jitters, without side effects. Order online at liveonlabs.com.
Welcome back to Superhuman Television with Tony Vanetti and Carl Lanore. Now that we've got your attention with sleep, I think most people struggle with the right amount of sleep, and everyone knows when you didn't get enough sleep. All right, the next day doesn't go well. You're not doing
Well, and plus there's diseases that are manifesting that we just pointed out a second ago.
There's a guy at my office that I swear to you, I have video. I should have brought the video. He's a bigger guy, and I walk by his door is open, and he's asleep at his desk.
Yeah.
Every day. He is snoring like this. I guess at his desk every
Of course, he's
single
not
day.
sleeping good at night.
No, it can't be.
So what do? The first thing you don't want is you don't want prescription drugs to help you sleep, especially drugs like benzodiazepines, like Valium,
Okay.
or drugs like Ambien, which are called hypnotics.
Okay, I see that commercial all the time, Ambien.
Lunestra.
Okay.
You don't want these drugs.
Okay, why not?
We'll never have pharmaceutical sponsors, by the way.
Okay, all right.
Just for the record. You don't want these drugs because they cause a hypnotic condition where you are knocked out. You lay still for 8 to 10 hours. But they completely disrupt the rhythms of sleep that are necessary for your body to do what it needs to do at night.
Okay.
And that's why people who take prescription drugs to sleep have the same cancer rates as shift workers.
Okay.
Because even though they're laying still for 8 hours,
it's
they're not
natural.
sleeping.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, but what if I'm one of those people out there that just cannot, I can't get it. I can't, I'm stressing out too much. I'm sitting in bed, I'm worrying about the kids, and I can't sleep. I'm just one of those people that can't sleep, and Ambient's been helping me.
Okay, Ambien is not helping you. It's any more than that drug that Michael Jackson was using to sleep helped him, okay? The bottom line is this. These drugs are anesthetics. They're not sleep aids. A sleep aid would be taking a melatonin tablet, taking a 5-HTP or L-tryptophan tablet, because this is what your body produces naturally to cause sleep.
I'm going to go ahead, and again, we said we might get to some tough love at this point on the thing. If you can't sleep at night, am I not working hard enough during the day?
That's part of the problem. And here's what I say. If you're one of those people who you are ill right now, you have an illness, and you say, well, Carl, Tony, oh, I'm so sorry for touching the mic. Carl or Tony, I can't do anything in the daytime. Well, then stand more. That's it. You don't have to start out with walking. Maybe just stand during the commercials of TV shows instead of just sitting there the whole time. But start doing something that equals more activity during the day.
Can you throw a blanket over the amount of hours that someone needs sleep? Okay, because I look at some of these super successful people. Let's look at the Charlie Strongs and the Rick Pittinos and some of these coaches and these CEOs that say they get 4 hours of sleep a night. That they go to sleep at 2 a.m., they work all day long, they go to sleep at 2, they get up at 5 or 6, and then they rock out the rest of the time.
This is a relatively new phenomenon. The idea that sleep is somehow lazy and a waste of time did not occur until after the Victorian era. And actually, it came with the industrialization of America, where we thought sleep is not making money, so we shouldn't sleep. And those people are not examples of health.
Okay, but you tell me that they're going to be in trouble later in their life? These
Absolutely.
people that have 4 or 5 hours sleep?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you should be sleeping between 7 and 10 hours a night. 8 to 9 seems to be where the magic is for most people. But the problem is, how do you sleep continuously throughout the night? The older you get, it becomes harder and harder to sleep continuously throughout the night because the body starts producing less and less melatonin. So I would say to people out there who are having trouble sleeping, first of all, stop eating around sundown. And you can go to a website, and I believe it's sunrisesunset.com, and you can actually find what time sundown is in your area.
Right.
And stop eating around an hour to 45 minutes before sundown, number one, because we talked about how feeding increases the message to the brain that
Right.
it's okay. Number two, use things like 3 milligrams of melatonin, 5-HTP, L-tryptophan. These types of things will help you sleep, and they're natural. They actually produce the natural rhythm of sleep that you don't get when you use prescription drugs.
We're going to try to fix your sleep patterns and get them fixed right here on Superhuman Television with Tony Vanetti and Carl Lanore. Back after this.
Your body knows what it wants. It wants to feel stronger, work harder, act faster, and think sharper. Give your body more nutrients, more antioxidants, more protection, more of what it wants. Try Live On Lab's liposomal vitamin C today, risk-free, and give your body the nutrients to support your overall health, without jitters, without side effects. Order online at liveonlabs.com.
Welcome back to Superhuman Television. I'm Tony Vanetti. This is Carl Lanore. Again, our show is here to help you on your journey to health and maybe even change some of the habits that you have to make you feel better, live longer, is the key here for this television show. And today's episode is on sleep. And we're trying to get you more sleep because that's important. And not just more sleep, but better sleep.
Better sleep. That's the
right.
important thing. Because sleep is not just about laying still for 8 hours. There
Right.
are actual rhythms that go on in your brain that do all the things that you need to do, reversing disease, staving off disease as well, okay? Even making you lose body fat. If you get your sleep in line, the ability to lose body fat will happen much faster.
Right.
So we talked about some things like taking melatonin, 5-HTP, L-tryptophan. L-theanine is another thing that you could take about an hour or two before bed. It'll actually relax you, okay? And these are all natural. They don't compete with sleep, they enhance sleep, okay?
Okay, all right.
Now, the other thing that you
Now,
mentioned...
where do I get that?
You can get that at any health food store.
Okay.
Online, offline, wherever.
Again, what is it?
Melatonin, 5-HTP, L-theanine, L-tryptophan.
Okay.
Those four things right there.
You can go to superhumanradio.com to find out more about these.
Superhuman television?
I'm sorry, superhuman
Television.com. But that's okay. But you need more sleep. Okay, but anyway, exercise and eat during the day. Find the cutoff time to stop eating about 45 minutes before sundown. But one more important thing.
Okay.
You mentioned it before. Those blue blocker glasses. Remember the blue blocker glasses that were all the rage?
the commercial.
Put them on at sundown. Those yellow glasses block out blue light. Science has shown that it's blue light that signals through the retina to the suprachiasmatic nuclei and the pineal gland to tell the body it's still daytime. Do not read your iPhone, iPad before bed unless you have those on.
What about routines? You got to keep into a routine. A routine is the best thing, right? As much
And that's
as you
why
can.
it takes about 2 weeks to see your sleep change.
Okay.
You have to do these things consistently for about 2 weeks before you'll start noticing you're sleeping longer and sleeping better.
How many hours do you get?
on average between 7 and 8 hours of sleep.
Okay, I average about 7. I bought one of those wristbands that measures the sleep. I guess that's movement,
right,
or whatever. And I set it for 7 hours, and I hit that. And I can tell you that I could tell, and I started to track it, and I could tell the difference. If I got 8 hours sleep, my day went well. If I got 5 hours sleep, my day did not go as well. It wasn't horrible, but it just didn't go as well as we wanted it to.
And
okay,
if you're getting only 5 hours of sleep, you're going to notice that you crave carbohydrates the next day.
Real quick, before we wrap, can you change the time? Can you change the amount of time you need? Can you go down to 5 or 8 or 9?
No. You really need to shoot for that 7 to 9. You really do.
Superhuman Television, we're tackling sleep. And again, if you need a new bed, go get a new bed, okay? But whatever gets you there, gets you there. Living Better, Superhuman Television here with Tony Vanetti and Carl Lanore. Tomorrow's show will deal with diabetes, but wrapping up with the
sleep. So this is the summary. You must make it a priority to get your sleep in line. Don't keep putting it off, number 1. Number 2, if you like to stay up late at night, shift that. Become a morning person instead of a night person.
Absolutely.
Go to sunrisesunset.com and start finding the civil sundown time in your area.
People live better that go to bed at night and then wake up when the sun comes up. The early risers live better.
Reprogram yourself to be a daytime
television
person.
is crappy except for this show on television late at night. That's all I'm saying.
If you are on prescription sleep aids now, tell your doctor you want to get off of them. Tell your doctor, I want to get off my Ambien, I want to get off my Linestra, give me some other alternatives. And one of the most common traits of healthy, thriving octogenarians is they routinely go to sleep early and wake up early.
That's the idea.
Healthy 80-year-olds, that's what they do.
Superhuman Television. I want to thank Sean from Play It Again Sports, our buddy from the gym. Thanks for loaning me this shirt, okay? Superhuman Television, Episode 2 in the banks and ready to go. Thanks for coming on this journey with us. Living better, living longer on Superhuman Television.
Your body knows what it wants. It wants to feel stronger, work harder, act faster, and think sharper. Give your body more nutrients, more antioxidants, more protection, more of what it wants. Try Live On Lab's liposomal vitamin C today, risk-free, and give your body the nutrients to support your overall health, without jitters, without side effects. Order online at liveonlabs.com.